We are on our next question, CKS Practice question 10. A container image scanner is set up on the cluster. Given an incomplete configuration in the directory is given. This is the directory. And a functional container image scanner with HTTPS endpoint. This is the endpoint where the server is working. These two tasks are there that we need to perform. One is enable the admission plugin. Second, validate the admission configuration and change it to implicit deny. Now, after seeing this, first of all, if you don't understand the question, let's just check the configuration files. So within this directory, you see image policy webhook is there and kubeconfig is there. So kubeconfig is clear. It is responsible for any, anything that uh, authenticate our users when they are logging in. So this kubeconfig is mainly responsible for um, image scanning, right? I mean, just before the image is being deployed, it scans it. So image policy webhook. This is something that looks interesting here. So let's just check what is there inside. Within this configuration, what you'll find admission configuration is available. So what you will do here is you can just go to admission configuration and search it inside the documentation. When you search for admission configuration, you will find certain configuration where exactly you can enable it. So let's scroll it and check what else. Okay, so as you can see, Cube API server enable admission plugins. So I can see this came in front of me. I'll just copy this and quickly search this string. Since it is API server configuration, I copied it here itself from the manifest file. You can do it directly in the manifest directory where this file would be available as running container. Now what we'll do, we'll just search this inside Q. Yeah, you can't really do it with hyphens. So you can see admission plugins are available, no restriction, right? So what we'll do, we'll just copy this string, and because it is available already, and we can search with that plugin itself, or we can search for as per the as per the file that we have seen here, right? Image. So within this file, you can see image policy webhook. So we'll try to identify what else to specify to enable our admission control. As you can see, there are various options that are available, but you still can't identify what exact. Uh, for example, if you try to use webhook, you can see mutating admission webhook is there, but will it be sufficient, first of all? So validating admission webhook is there, but as per the configuration file, what you see here is you you see something else, right? You okay, cat. Okay, I need to cat. So uh, to make sure image policy webhook is enabled because that's what the admission configuration is saying, right? So I mean, you need to look for webhook, specifically webhook if it is about webhook, right? So you can just say new API server is available. You can install if it is not available and can search for -i webhook. It will give you webhook information. See, enable admission plugins strings. If you go to this place, you can see there is image policy that is available. You can enable this with a hyphen. So now image policy webhook. That's what is there. We'll directly modify it. Sudo, let's just say sudo, and then VNA, etc, Kubernetes, manifest, and then Q, A, and here I can see no restriction and add image image policy webhook. Image policy webhook. So this is what we have seen inside when we were trying to fetch this information, and the definition has to be like this. So you can see with this you can actually complete your configuration and enable it here. Second, you need to ensure control config is enabled. The file is which file is responsible for control config. So for that, what you can do, you'll just go to webhook documentation first of all. How would you get to know whether this is the file that you need to, what string you need to pick it up? So webhook policy, for example, right? Let's see webhook policy if we find something with that. Book policy. Attention. That file we must specify in order to make sure that API server is reading it. So that config I must identify by what kind of information is to be specified. I can just check the files again. Then this is it, image policy, and I can see image policy webhook is there. I'll just copy that as it is and we'll search it from my documentation, and I'll find something related to admission controllers. Here, once you are in this, you can just go to this place and next, 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 next. You'll find just below reference image webhook configuration file provided by API servers command line flag. This is the flag that they are asking us to use and specify the file. So we need to ensure that this is available, admission control config file, and then the path of the file. So now we will just go inside our API server. Then we'll enable the whole path. Yeah. Now, one that you need control config file equal to this is the path. We are in sync with whatever the pattern that is in use within this file, and we are using this. We have our webhook plugin inside our Kube API server. Now, next question is ensure that explicitly deny if you see validate and validate the control configuration and change it to implicit deny. Now, there are two files actually. So we will API Q config. Here you can see it has server information also, right? Show this file use real uh, Kubernetes master IP or the server IP. So how would we get it? We can just get it from the same file which we modified. Sudo ref-i, and what do we need to get it? Server and etc Kubernetes manifest and then Q API. You are able to identify the endpoint here, right? This is the endpoint that actually will be used as Cube API server, as you know, right? So not HCD server, the Cube API server we are talking about, the same endpoint that we validate. So if it is different, then just make sure this is using, because my master is the same machine where I'm sitting right now. We can this is the same IP, but normally these two will be same in our environment. So just make sure you validate them and then copy and paste. Copy paste or change it accordingly. Now sudo vi and my cube config. Then just make sure my real IP is in use, which is 56.4. Because I built this, I know it. And this is what we have seen in the API, but API server file also. So this is done. Now, third thing is implicitly denying that we can check inside sudo vi and image. Here you can see default alloy is true, which we need to make sure is set to false. This is it. Okay. It's false. Now cat image. You can see it has set. We have set it to false. So also you need to validate if anything that you find misaligned. I have already specified this path, which is pointing me to the kubeconfig file, which it will read. So that also you can check. This is how you can answer it. And I try to give you an insight how you can step by step move in this question and try to find out the right solution. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.